The plane is in very good shape, given that it's a 1951 model aircraft, and these Piper Super Cubs, despite their age, remain the most popular of the Bush aircraft, which is interesting because there are newer options. What is it that gives this plane its staying power up here?
Well, the Piper Super Cub's design is 1930s and 40s technology, very lightweight and versatile aircraft, so it makes it real good for getting in and out of the remote area lakes and rivers when you see it here equipped on floats. But also in the summer, we'll go to wheels where we'll operate them on sandbars and ridge tops. In the winter months, we'll put skis for ice and snow, so it's just a real good small aircraft for supplying the remote areas where there's no runways available.
Well, but still now, 1930s and 40s technology is not something we really see much on our roads, but there's a lot of it in the Alaskan sky, which sort of begs the question of maintenance. Piper hasn't made a new one of these in over 20 years, but you fly yours every day as part of your job. Is it tough being able to keep an aircraft like that functional given its age?
Well, we're fortunate enough to still have manufacturers that build parts for these older aircraft, and then shops like I have that maintain and restore them. So a technology that really has proven itself over the years and is going strong today and looks like it has a great future ahead of itself.
Well, it's fun to see that in action out here, Steve. I'm glad you could come see us, and hoping, you got time to go again, or do you need to stay down in town today? What's the plan?
All the parts downriver, head back to the base. You people enjoy your afternoon boat ride. This will be too far off a clear.
Okay, Steve, good to see you. Thanks. Easy clear. All right, you watch out to the left. We'll see him go one more time. And I'll tell you, give you an idea how good a mechanic he is. He found that plane by the side of the road about 20 years ago with brush and weeds growing up through it. Took the whole thing apart, completely restored it. Now he's got over 2,500 hours on it. He's taking him all over the state. So here we go one more time. We'll say farewell to Steve Canastro on this nice afternoon. Wintertime will not slow him down at all. Sometime in October, the wheels and floats come off, the skis go on. Then they can land on this river when it freezes. Glaciers in the mountains, all kinds of places you can get to. And even though I'm not a pilot, I can still tell you for certain when skis will be on planes, because I was born and raised here in Fairbanks. Trick-or-treated here all through my youth, but every Halloween there was snow on the ground, so we knew it would be here by then. 15, 20 below a lot of times at that time of year. And if you have any idea how long it takes to thaw a Tootsie Roll that's been in there for 35 minutes, you know, we learn to be patient early. You can't put them in the microwave because they'll just explode. Mother was not happy about that. Now over to the right, we want to introduce you to a very special bit of Binkley family history, discovery number 1. This is the original riverboat discovery on your monitor, built in 1955 by Captain Jim out in his backyard. And she actually used to be a little smaller, but when Jim wanted to increase capacity, he cut it in half and added 10 feet, and that's how you see her today. And runs just as good as she looks. Still licensed for operation, not really in active service, just goes out for special occasions now. And if you'd like to see what this trip looked like in the 1950s, we can show you on the screen back with Jim and Mary. That's our captain's grandparents, by the way, would come out and do most of this by themselves in those days. Jim drove the boat, Mary did the narration, they made everybody's coffee and donuts. But even though today's vessel is licensed for 900 people, a little bigger, still the content of the trip really hasn't changed all that much from the very early days. This is our 68th season, and we're going to learn about why people want to live in a place like this. From thousands of years ago in the native cultures right on up to the present day. talk about the history of Fairbanks without mentioning gold, because that's how we got our start. And over to the right here, this building shooting water out into the river is the Chena pump house, which was a critical component of a hydraulic placer mine that used to be set up behind these hills over to our right, the Esther Cripple Creek site. And this building, the pump house, provided them all their water. It had great big electric pumps in it, could take 6,000 gallons of water a minute out of the Chena River through water pipes that came out of the back of that building and went over the hills. And then all that water they took out of the Chena would flow right back down into it through Cripple Creek, Alaska, which is this little cut in the bank ahead of us and to the right. And Cripple Creek may not look like much. You can see it on your monitor even, but we pointed out because that's the richest gold-bearing stream in the history of the entire state right over there. $100 million in gold taken out of that creek when it was only $18 to $24 an ounce. At today's price, it's about $7 billion for that same hole. Now you tell me you don't want to grab a pan and give it a shot. And we'll show you how hydraulic placer mining worked up on the monitor if you're curious. The first thing you'll see is that water pipe going over the hill. That pipe would get narrower on the other side, which pressurized the water so they could shoot it out of these big nozzles to prep the ground for the dredge. But one guy in the checkered shirt could do the work of 15 to 20 with picks and shovels. And then when the dredge would lumber up there like a big dinosaur on its legs, you could sift through that material, keep the gold, and spit all the rest among the rocks, would shoot out the back. And those guys were very proud of the work that they did too, their efficiency. They'd tell you that if a man ever accidentally got sucked into the dredge, he'd come out the other end just fine with the tailings, except that his 4 gold teeth would be missing. Because they're not going to leave any gold on the belt. But even though we like our gold, it's not our favorite resource anymore. That would be people. And I want to introduce you to some of the people who make this boat work so well. Now I know that that's a beautiful house over to the left there, but that belongs to my ex-wife and I don't want to talk about it. So eyes front if you don't mind, and let's meet your first mate. This young man with me here on the third deck and on your monitor. This is Skyler. Born and raised in Fairbanks. He's up at our University of Alaska Fairbanks studying math education. He's going to be a teacher. We're pretty proud of that. And just got back from the honeymoon. Just got married. So that's pretty exciting. This is the first I've seen of him since then. And this is his 4th year on the boat. So we're glad to have him on board. And in addition to the deckhands, some very special young Alaskans you're going to get to meet today are your native guides who are going to share their culture with you when we get to Chena Village. And Delana is one of those up on our Alaska deck. This young lady is Koyukon Athabascan Indian, and her family is from Caltech. She's going to go to Lathrop High School for her senior year. That's where I graduated from, go Malamutes. And today, though, she's going to be an educator in Native culture, and you'll learn a lot from Delana. Nice to see you up there. But I have seen you looking at our houses, so we'll talk about those. Because by now you have picked, and by the way, I don't have any ex-wives, I just needed to snap you out of it there for a second. But I'm sure you've noticed the construction pattern out here by now, which is that there is not one. There's a little bit of everything, right? Big house, little house, big house, little house, and everybody's fine with that. Being an individual matters a lot more than trying to make properties look like each other. And nobody gets any heartburn over the differences. No jealousy for the big ones, and nobody gets cranky about the little ones. Land right on the river is about $100,000 an acre if you're on the water, and then as you get farther back, it gets cheaper very rapidly. And then contractor-built homes. Last numbers we got are starting out between $130 to $170 a square foot for very basic frame construction. It'll go up from there depending on how fancy you want to get. But most of these homes on both sides were built by the owners, and they live in them all year round, not just for the summertime. One of the oldest on the Chena River is the one that Josiah has on the monitor, and you'll see over to the right. It's a pioneer-style white spruce log home. Been out here for decades, and the way you can tell it's an older one, even if you didn't know it had been here a long time, is it has a feature the new ones don't have. There are these long poles that stick out the front. You'll see as we pass by. And the current family uses them for their flower baskets, but the original family used those for the freezer. That's why they're like that. After the hunt, you hang your moose or caribou right off those logs, up out of the reach of predators, and it preserves the meat for many months.